Right away, welcome back everybody to YouTube channel BTCTV, and we continue to do videos with famous people in blockchain industry. Today I'm happy to present you Alex Mashinsky. Alex, nice to see you here. Thanks for joining. Before I'll start, I want just simply make a quick introduction to our viewers, subscribers, to understand with whom we are speaking, because I bet that many of you are using nowadays Skype, Messenger, calling friends, WhatsApp. Yes, you are calling every single day. So basically it is VoIP system, and Alex is the father of this technology which revolutionized all these industries.
Yes.
So that is correct, right?
Yes.
Now you did that. Main question, why you went to blockchain? Why you are doing right now this project Elsies, and what is it all about?
So most of your viewers probably don't remember, but because they were too young. But our parents used to, it was very expensive to make phone calls.
Absolutely.
And especially from the Eastern Bloc, if you wanted to call anyone in America or whatever, that was like $3 a minute and minimum 2 minutes per call, and it was like, you know, the salary was almost nothing. So we went from scarcity of communications to abundance of communications. Like my kids are talking to 6 other friends at the same time and they never hang up, right? So what happened to telecommunications, where basically decentralization and peer-to-peer took over because of the internet and the power of the internet, that has not happened to money.
Right.
So we're going from an era of voice over IP to money over IP, from VoIP to MoIP. And in the era of money over IP, we should be able to transact with each other peer-to-peer in the same way that we can call each other without any cost, without a toll collector or somebody in the middle deciding who gets to talk to who gets to earn from their money, who gets to get a loan, and so on. So today, the banks and the financial institutions really dominating our lives.
Right.
I'll give you a small example. When I get a salary, I deposit the money in the bank, and then the bank lends it to you. They pay me nothing for my deposit, maybe 1%, and then they lend it to you on your credit card and they charge you 25%. So they keep 90% of the value, right? They keep 24 out of 25% as income for themselves, but I get nothing, the person who actually worked hard and created that money. So that's not a fair system. So all Elsies done is use the internet, the blockchain, to give the depositor 80% of the value instead of 0 or 1%, and charge the borrower half of what the credit card companies charge today. So there's benefit to the borrower and there's a benefit to the depositor, with us as the community network, right? Elsies Network is a community membership where we are enabling the service for everybody around.
The idea is actually a great one, but don't
very simple idea.
Yeah, but simple, right? The same like you did with VoIP.
Very simple, yes.
But
simple is good.
Yes, but at that time I remember you said that many telephone companies came to you and say, okay, sell to us this technology, right?
Don't give to anybody else.
Yes, don't do it, and we will make money together, right?
And we're seeing that today. So we're seeing JP Morgan,
right,
for example, copying Ethereum. They made a copy of Ethereum because Ethereum is a public source, open source software. They called it something else. They called it Quorum instead of calling it Ethereum, and they're giving it only to their rich friends, right? So that we had that in the internet. It was called an intranet, and the big companies were saying, forget about the public internet. That's bad. It's not safe. It's not good for you. Use our intranet. And today they're saying, use our blockchain. Don't use the public blockchain. Don't use Bitcoin, Ethereum, or Litecoin. We created something even better, but there we control it. We keep all the profit. And really, if you want to empower the world, if you want to do what VoIP did to, you know, basically 7 billion people can now communicate without any obstacles, without any toll collars, you have to support the crypto community. You cannot go and support the banks.
Right.
Very simple message.
But question is coming, do you think that big companies will come to you, banks, and will try to buy your company, your technology, what you are doing?
So I'm old enough and rich enough not to have to sell anything. So I think, you know, I was already in retirement, and I just couldn't sit on the sidelines and watch this. So I decided to jump in and build a company for the people. Also, there were 2,000 ICOs. I think you can see that most ICOs did not deliver on the promise. We did not. We basically raised money from the community. We did not take any money from investors, from all of the crypto funds. We did not take any money from them, because the idea was that if we're building Elsies Network for the community, then the community should participate, and any benefit or profits are gonna be distributed back to the community. So we are sticking to our plan. We are doing it to make sure that your children, my children, will have a different future. Because I think if we continue to let the banks and the financial institutions control our lives, we don't have much of a chance.
Right.
You know, not everybody can come up with a great company and become rich and famous. For all of us, we need somebody that acts in our best interest, right? Somebody that builds a network. Like we used to have that. We used to have community banks that actually cared about the community. Now they took out the word community out of it, and it's just called a bank. You know? And they're definitely not there to act for you or in your best interest.
Right. You started your ICO process in worst market condition, basically, but still you did it successfully. In your opinion, why? Like because your idea is so supported by your community, or like your connections, or your name, because you are like a founder. Why you have a great success?
Well, look, success is not one person, right? I mean, we have a great team. We have over 50 people now. Half of them are developers. And I think part of our success has to do with the fact that everybody in the Elsies team is doing it because they want to build a new community. They want to build a future that is different than what we have today. And when your message is strong and when your people are committed, right? When the team is very, like, you know, we're oozing. The success is just the result. Right. But when you talk to any Elsies employee or any of our community members or anyone on the Telegram chat or Twitter or whatever, you can see that people are very passionate about this idea. So this is not about Elsies being successful. This is about the community being successful. And Elsies is doing well. Again, we raised money from the community. We now have over $100 million under management. Nice. So basically people gave us $100 million of their money and said, here, manage it for us. Create yield, earn interest, and allow us to take cheaper loans, right? These are the two sides of the transaction. So we've been paying interest now for 9 months since we launched, June 1st. Every week we give people more coins on their coins. For example, I'll give you a simple example. There are hundreds of thousands of people that hold Dash. They hold it mostly on exchanges. Right. The exchanges don't give you anything. They don't let you participate in the fact that Dash has this payout, like a dividend payout. So Elsies said, wait a second, why can't we give the community the dividend that Dash pays every week as if they had a master node or a staking node, right? And so we decided to not charge any fees. We pay 7.5% per year. It's higher than Dash. All you have to do is take it from the exchange, deposit it in Elsies, and you get 7.5%, right? Sounds amazing. So, but we're not doing anything new. Dash already pays it. It's just today the exchange, just like the bank, the exchange keeps it because they don't. Most of their customers don't know that they can get this yield. Right? Actually, I didn't know that as well. That you are already paying a percentage. So a lot of people come to me and say, Alex, how can you pay such high interest? Right. Well, it's actually very simple. We did not invent something new. All we're doing is we're taking all the tricks and all the systems that banks and financial institutions use, and we, for the first time, giving it to the depositor. What's surprising for depositors is because they've never seen this before. No one has ever given anybody anything. So they always look for the hidden agenda. They're looking for, okay, there must be something hidden here. You have a trick. You're doing something. No, it's very simple. Today, the company in the middle, the exchange or the bank, keep all the profit, and we're just basically extending all that profit back to the depositor, just by being fair. You know?
I agree. I'll be honest with you that if somebody else will say that, I will not believe you. But when you are saying that, and I know that you are really rich enough to
not have to
no anything at all. Like, I mean, you simply to be on retirement all the time. I believe that. And actually, this is why I want to come to another questions regarding like you started a couple companies very successfully and doing over and over again. Why you are doing this? Like, what keeps you pushing you? Where like you making this energy?
Well, you know, Steve Jobs, one of his most famous quotes is, you know, when he was giving, I think it was in Stanford, he was a
speech.
Keynote, a speech, and he said 2 words: stay hungry.
Stay hungry, right?
Stay hungry. And life is not about the destination, right? Everybody tells you, your parents tell you, oh, it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. But until you get older, you don't understand that. Only when you get older, you say, wow, you know, when you get
journey.
I already got to the destination, retirement, and it was boring over there. There wasn't a thing. It was like a desert. You look around, there's nothing to do. So I believe that life is about finding that one thing that you can do better than anybody else. All of us are very successful people, but the problem is most of us don't find the one thing that we're better than anyone else. We get stuck doing something we're not necessarily very good at because we studied it in college, or because our parents told us that we have to be a lawyer or an accountant or a doctor or whatever. So the magic in life, in my view, and it's very hard because they don't teach you that in high school.
Right.
They don't teach you that in college. Is to find really discover yourself. It's a journey inside. It's not a journey outside. It's not like going and discovering a new continent. It's a journey inside into your mind to discover what is the unique skill set that you have as an individual that is better than anyone else. Better means it's not that you're smarter or you're faster or you're whatever. It's just the thing you can do that no one else can do. And all of us, each one of us has a unique set of experience. So what I discovered is that I am extremely good at figuring out what the world looks like 5 or 10 years from now. Many times I'm jumping too much.
Too much, right.
You know, like, again, just as a simple example, voice over IP, I wrote the patents in 1994. We're now 25 years later, and only half of the people on the planet use voice over IP. The other half still pay the phone company every month. So you would say, wait a second, it doesn't make any sense, right? Why would you pay for something you can get for free? And that just shows you how long the adoption cycle is. Nothing happens overnight. So a lot of people come to me and say, oh, blockchain, it will never happen. It's already 10 years old. Look how few people using it. And I explain to them that it's a process. It's much easier to get people, for example, to use an app for voice than it is for them to trust you with their money, right? And part of why I'm doing Celsius is because the education and the trust banks spend 700 years building trust, right? Like the idea of giving your money to somebody else who's stealing from you every day, and we keep doing it every day, is really not the solution, right? So I think banks today are abusing the trust, and that's why we have an opportunity. The reason the blockchain has an opportunity is because the financial institutions are not your best friends. They're not here to represent your best interest. So because of that, we have an opportunity to create a new world that is acting in our best interest, and that's what the public blockchain, what consensus, open ledger are all about.
All right. You said, and that's true, you have such long-term vision, and it is hard, you know, to believe in your idea and doing this everything.
It's easy. I live there. I'm already there.
That's actually I wanted to share. Like, answer me how it is like you can do this because nobody around you believe you, trust you, right? What you are doing, and still you need pushing every single day.
You have to convince everybody that your vision is correct, and you have to convince everybody that all the other options are wrong, because it's not just about your vision. There are thousands of people out there who have a different vision, and they're trying to pull the community in that direction. And many times we find ourselves not doing the best thing. Sometimes we go in the wrong direction, then we have to go back and try it again, right? So that's why timing is very difficult, because many times we go to basically like a wrong entrance. If you think about computing or mobile phone or anything like that, we had many different things before we ended up with the iPhone. The iPhone was the last thing, not the first thing. right? So imagine all the different phones. IBM had a crazy phone, and Nokia had a crazy phone, a brick, and all these experiments led us to a vision where we can do everything on a little device in our hand. So I think that the same thing with the blockchain. We have 2,000 experiments. We have a Cambrian explosion of innovation, and we have 2,000 experiments that's supposed to lead us to the one or two things that the blockchain is going to do better than the existing world. It's not going to cure cancer. It's not it's not going to recreate healthcare. It's not all these. I see a lot of projects, and they ask me, "Oh, Alex, come be an advisor, help us out, do what you did for Celsius to our project." And the problem with that is that it's not that what they're trying to do is not good. It's that using the blockchain is not the right solution, because the blockchain is the slowest and most expensive database ever created. So if you're trying to take something that requires a lot of transactions like advertising and put it on the blockchain, it's just not going to be successful, right? So I think what we're doing, where we're paying interest once a week, right, is very is not a lot of friction being added to the blockchain. We're not billions of transactions real time. Once a week, we're recording that you have more coins than you had a week ago. That's all that we, basically the, what's the word? That's all the pressure or the adoption that we're putting on the blockchain, right?
Okay, I understand. Alex, you are a successful entrepreneur. Started companies all around, but let's talk about your personal daily life. How it is looking like I mean, what you are doing in regular life. Like, do you like to read books, watch movies, maybe sports activities?
Yes. So I have a beautiful wife who has her own career. She runs a much bigger company than I am.
Wow.
You know, a public company. She's president of a very large public company, and we have 6 kids at home. So there is no time for anything. You know. We are 2 very busy parents with a lot of kids who are, you know, my oldest is 19, my youngest is 3.5. So I don't even think about anything else. I don't have time to read a book. I don't have time for anything else. So all
dedication to them.
Yeah, but my company is also my passion, right? So I don't need, like, my hobby is my company. Celsius is my, like, 7th child, you know. If you want to call it that. So all I'm focused on is really delivering on for the community and raising my children with my wife in the best way I can.
You are really a rich man because you have 6 kids. I have only 2, but
6. Well, you're a third of the way there, you know, like you.
So I can imagine how it is. Much time is taken.
Very busy, but it's also a good thing, because kids, children grow up independently. The more of them you have, like I grew up with a family of 4 kids, and we're all independent and we're all doing well, because you know, today you have too much of this helicopter parents, where the parents they have one child and they're on top of them all day long, and the child doesn't have to do anything. They do everything for the child. I don't believe in that upbringing. You know, I think as a parent, you're really the coach for your child. Their job is to do everything. Your job is just to coach and show them what to do, what not to do.
Right. Still, about, you say that you don't have time about books and movies, but still, do you remember maybe one book which impacted in your life, which is like gave you inspiration, motivational maybe? Do you remember that?
Yeah. So I don't read a lot of books. The reason is that I am more of a visual guy. So I'm dyslexic, so I'm a very slow reader. You know, even in high school, like everybody would finish their exam and I would still be on page number 2, you know. So and again, that problem really was the opportunity. That meant that for me, that meant that I'm good at something else, and I kept looking for what is that one thing that I can do better than anyone else, because I can definitely not do better than anyone on the test or on reading. So I think, I mean, I think the Steve Jobs book, the biography about Steve Jobs, is a great book. There's a lot of, I read some books about entrepreneurship. So there's a lot of different great books, but I can't tell you that there's one book. I think when you read books, all you discover is that each person, when they write their history or their experiences, you see that they had their own path. It's not like you can take yourself and put them in their path, and suddenly, if you were on this path, you will become successful, and if you're on this path, you're not successful. So the magic is about finding your own path. And finding your own path, you can take examples and ideas from different people, but not necessarily copy. Copying usually does not work, you know?
Yeah, I agree with you. Right, Alex, thanks a lot for your interview. Before we'll finish, how about that we will make a small challenge with our subscribers, that they will ask interesting questions below this video, and in a couple of weeks you will, let's say, you will find the best question, you will answer, and how about maybe you will present a book of Steve Jobs with your signature, with
your quotes. Yes, sure, I'm happy to do that. I'll do more than one, happy to do more than one question, but the call to action to your viewers is that we all sitting, even some of us have coins, some of us are even helping some projects, but we're not taking action. We're not creating, helping build this community. We're hoping that somebody else is going to come and build it for us. And the answer is, it's not going to be someone else. It's everybody who's watching this has to take action. So my call to action for your viewers is a very simple one, is that if you really believe in the blockchain, if you believe in cryptocurrencies, you have to bring people into this. And bringing it means you have to give them, even if you give $5 or $2, just sending a coin to someone, right? For example, Celsius has a service in our wallet called SellPay that allows you to send SMS or WhatsApp or email to any of your friends and attach some cryptocurrency, even if they don't have a wallet. That's the whole point, is to onboard them, bring them into the community without them knowing what is a public address or private address, what is cryptocurrencies, blockchain, and so on. So unless each person in our community brings 10 more, we will not be successful.
Right.
Because the only way this works is if all of us use it. Just imagine if you were trying to use VoIP and no one was on the other side. You couldn't find any of your friends. You would not use the service either, right? Today it's very easy. You go on WhatsApp and all of your friends are right there. So it's the same thing here, right? It's the opportunity to bring the rest of the community, and if they all transact in cryptocurrencies, then we have a future.
Thanks, Alex. Amazing. Thanks a lot for your interview, and I'm really inspired. And again, thanks for your time.
Thanks for having us.